Hello all, sex coach and sexological bodyworker here, Jem Ayres, and I'm talking to you today about the Empowered Women's Book Club. Hurrah! So this is a beautiful space which I've been running now for almost 3 years, and it's a core group of women with new people joining us all the time. And we call it a book club, which sounds super polite and sweet and quaint, but it's actually a really powerful space for women to keep the discussions around sexuality and pleasure on the agenda each week, and of course access my teachings and any somatic practices and homework I set also, because what we do is we work on different books all around female sexual empowerment basically. And you can come even if you don't read a chapter. You can come even if you don't even buy the book. Actually, people have done that before. And it's not another thing on the to-do list to beat ourselves up with when we forget to read. It's something that should be supportive for us. So it's a really, really beautiful space, and people have got lots and lots from it. And the next book we will be covering is Call of the Wild: How We Heal Trauma, Awaken Our Own Power, and Use It for Good, by Kimberly Ann Johnson. So she is a fellow sexological bodyworker, somatic educator and trauma coach also, and she done some brilliant work. And this book has been on my shelf. I bought it probably 2 years ago when it first came out actually, so it's always been on the book club list. I think I even mentioned it to book club a few years ago and everyone ran out to get it, and I haven't actually done it yet. So this is it. I'm going to read you some stuff about the book. Okay, so it says here, generally speaking, making overtures towards sex requires some vulnerability, and most of us don't like to be rejected. This also applies to setting limits and making requests once we engaged in sex. The fear of rejection can inhibit us. Afraid to expand our capacity, we stay in a safe zone of our habits, and that rarely leads to exploratory, expansive sex. We get into patterns of assumption that keep us from having genuine interactions in the moment where new things could happen. So for those of you that have worked with me before, me and Kimberly have very similar teachings and very similar language actually, so this shouldn't be a shift. Too much of a shift anyway. Right, what else? Says here, the best sex is like a jazz improvisation session. You bring your instruments, your desire, your quirks, I bring mine, and then we see where it goes. Sometimes we play a song or two and that's enough. Sometimes it's really flowing. We're experimenting and new sounds and songs emerge that we hadn't ever thought about. You don't make great music all the time, and sometimes it blows your mind. Great sex is a practice, like learning a language or learning an instrument. Beautiful. I enjoy the fluidity she talks about here when she talks about sexuality. So the teachings and practices in this book. So it's all about somatic practices for working through nervous system responses to what she calls small t traumas and capital T traumas. So whether that's just jarring experiences and fallouts with others, or whether it's, sexual abuse or things that are going on in society, which are, larger traumas for us. And so it's all about how we work with the nervous system to find our way through those experiences, to be able to self-regulate and reset and work with whatever life throws at us. Okay, so the teachings and practices in this book are about learning to be fully human. I love this. So dropping beneath the surface to the magnificent intelligence of the body and what it needs to do to unwind itself. The body is always there waiting for you to listen, to discover its wisdom, and to lead you to a greater sense of organisation and congruence within yourself, with others, and with your environment. Part of becoming human in these times is a process of getting to know your nervous system, coming home to your body, learning how to filter experience, expanding your capacity for pleasure, a term I always use, and learning to reside there, and coming into wholeness with boundaries, communication, and sex. You have everything you need right now to call all the parts of yourself home and into greater coherence. Every life experience, every imprint has brought you to this point to offer you the information you need to become the truest expression of your soul's purpose. Beautiful. What does it say on the back? Says Kimberly Ann Johnson's clear and inviting guide boldly points us towards the evolution on the field of somatics. She helps each one of us not only to recover from trauma, but also to engage our vitality and awaken our sensual aliveness. This wise and accessible extension of somatic experiencing, which is a practice, will no doubt shift popular understandings of psychology and trauma to include our bodies, nervous systems, and fundamental life force. Hurrah! Thank you very much, Kimberly. Super looking forward to this book. So we start Wednesday evenings and it's only 9 sessions. It's a really, really short book club because it's only 9 chapters. So the first chapter's about 30 pages and then you read that before you come to week 1, and all the rest are like 15 to 20 pages. So it's really, really manageable, really super readable. It's really engaging as well, even though it sounds like it might be quite heavy on trauma and the nervous system, but it's not at all. Like the language that she uses is super inclusive and just really helpful. Actually, it's kind of book I can't put down as well. And it feeds into my little sex geek as well. I'm really happy to be covering a book like this. So we start on the 22nd of November and we run all the way through Christmas to mid-January as well. So it's only 9 weeks, but it's going to be a beautiful deep dive together. We get to support each other in the learnings. And of course I set homework optional but recommended. And of course I'll be leading some somatic practices. And the book is just the thread actually that keeps the conversation going. But what keeps us live and relevant is what the women bring to the group. So it's really, you know, I'm always so blessed to know that, you know, book club will always be there. People think of it as like their backbone a little bit now. So women from all over the world are now close sister friends because of the book club. So hopefully look forward to seeing you there. Ciao, ciao.